Hey everyone, welcome to the Lost in Life podcast. And on this episode, I'm going to be talking to one of the most inspirational South Asian women in the world. So keep listening. Hey guys, this is Keshav here, and I'm with, I was going to ask you actually.
Heleena.
Yeah, Heleena or Heleena?
Heleena.
Heleena, that's how you say it. Yeah.
Heleena.
I've heard people say it both ways.
Yeah, they say it like Helena. They have their own.
And I'll be honest,
spins.
I don't know if it's me, but as I get older, I'm getting a bit more particular about how people say my name.
So, what do you prefer? Keshav?
I prefer Keshav.
Oh, okay,
that's
Keshav.
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 If you go to India, that's how everyone's saying it.
Yeah.
So it's not Keshav or Kesh.
Keshav. That's how I say it. Well, Keshav.
But I think maybe I've developed a greater appreciation of
people saying it the right way.
Yeah. Like, taking the time to like, and I like doing that for other people. So anyway,
I appreciate it.
I'm here with
Heleena,
who is a tattoo artist from the Midlands. Big ups.
Yeah.
And
East Midlands, actually.
East Midlands, very important actually. I don't know, Birmingham, Leicester, we got a bit of a light rivalry.
Oh, you're from Birmingham?
Yeah.
No way.
So, but we'll put it aside for this podcast. First question though, and for people who are not listening, just a quick little intro into who you are, what you do, and some of the things that you're passionate about.
So I'm a 22-year-old tattoo artist based in Leicester. I have my own studio and I've been tattooing for about 3 years, and I'm like one of 5 South Asian tattoo artists in the UK. That's all I've counted to so far.
One of 5 tattoo artists that are
South Asian, yeah. I think there might be more, but I've not come across them yet.
And the other 4?
I don't know them personally, but I like stalk them on Instagram now and
then.
Okay.
Are they all men?
There's one man that I know of, and then the rest are female, I guess.
Okay.
Well, I
assume.
I don't know their pronouns, so I can't just assume.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, let's get right into it. Like, one of the things I was doing my research. We've known each other for a while. We've spoken quite a bit on Instagrams. And one of the things that I really admire about you and the stuff that you share and you talk about is persistence. And the title of this podcast is the Lost in Life podcast. And that's the reason I wanted to have you on today as a guest, because for those people who are listening who haven't figured it all out, or you haven't made it yet, or you're not even sure like what you're doing or where you're going, but you're just trying to go from your 9 to 5, maybe go to the gym once a week and do your thing, is like, I really admire your persistence and your authenticity. Is that something that you always had?
I think so. I've always been the kind of person that's like, if I want something, I need to have it. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, I can't stop thinking about something if I want it. And I can't sit and be idle. Like, it really bothers me. So when I moved to London like 2 years ago, I was supposed to be a tattoo apprentice in the studio, but I went in once a week. I didn't have any money because I wasn't getting paid, but I'd sit in my bedroom all day, every day, and do nothing but draw and watch couples on YouTube, because I was like a lonely sad person, so I just watched everybody on YouTube. But like, that's all I was doing, and I was just like, what am I doing with my life? But at least I'm in London. Hey, fancy. No, it wasn't. Like, it really wasn't fancy at all.
So I think there's a good lesson there, that like the dream that people sell you isn't always as good as you might think. Things may not turn out as you expect them to, but you can always have persistence. Like, I just, like, as we got here to film this, to record this rather, I came in and I could see you were drawing. Like, you were just doing things.
I can't just sit around and not do anything. I was like,
why is that important though?
I just think, if you love doing something, you're just going to do it, aren't you? Like, if you love drawing, you're going to spend all the time you can to draw. If you want to sing. If you want to, like, do maths, you'll do Sudoku or something. I don't know. Like, if you enjoy doing something, you'll spend as much time as possible doing it. And I love drawing, and I love, like, creating things.
And, like, what's your earliest memory of drawing? And is it something you were, like, in the classroom drawing stuff? Or?
My mum used to draw these little Indian ladies holding baskets and, like, living in, like, hay.
By the way, it's so good to hear someone say baskets. Such
Baskets, yeah, not baskets, baskets. Yeah, she used to do these little Indian illustrations, and I used to paint them with her, and we always used to like draw together when we were little, and I was terrible at drawing, but I don't know, that's just the first time that I really thought, hey, this is cool, I could do this. And we used to, when it was summer, I used to get a cup of water and a paintbrush, and I used to paint on like the hot stones outside, and then obviously the water would evaporate. My parents wouldn't yell at me like, why are you painting the floor? But like, it was good fun, the simple times.
And at what point did you decide, okay, I want to, and did you think this way, but at what point did you think, all right, I want to break taboo, I want to become a South Asian tattoo artist?
I didn't.
How did that begin?
I didn't ever think that was going to be a thing. Like, that wasn't the goal. The goal was, I want a creative lifestyle. Like, I don't want to be stuck in an office. Like, I tried the office job for like 8 months, and my depression just like went through the roof. And I was like, you know what? I can't live like this. I need to draw. I need to be creative. I need to be free. So I just quit my day job, and I was like, I'm going to be a tattoo artist. And then I started Googling like South Asian or Indian tattoo artists. There wasn't anybody. I couldn't find anyone on Google. But now if you Google South Asian tattoo artist, I come up.
Yeah. So
nobody can see that.
No one can see, but there's a
framing the face. Yeah. We'll take a picture.
Yeah, we'll make it the cover of the video on YouTube. Cool. So, like, what was the thing that kept you going? Because I guess, it's definitely not encouraged in any way, shape, or form. There's a lot of taboo around tattoos generally.
See, I didn't see it at first. I didn't see all the taboo about it until, like, I started getting tattoos, and then people started acting a bit funny around me, or they'd, like...
So when you say acting funny, that was
like, so I started getting visible tattoos when I was, like, 19, I think, which is, like, a normal age. And I remember I was at home, and we had, like, a family event, and one of my cousins was like, oh, Heleena, let me see your disgusting tattoos. And I was like, What? You're my cousin. What are you doing? Be supportive. And every time I'm around certain family members, they always bring up my tattoos, like, regardless of the conversation. I think I'll, like, roll my sleeves up, and they'll see it and be like, oh, okay, your tattoos. And they'll, like, make me feel weird about it, or they'll just, like, oh, I don't want tattoos. I want to be in the minority and not have any. I was like, you're South Asian. Do you know how many South Asian women there are with tattoos? No, there aren't many, because obviously people like you make it very difficult.
So why do you think, and I can relate to you, because if my mom's listening to this podcast, she's going to get vexed. I'm going to bring it up. But the number one thing, every single day, every single time I speak to my parents or my members of my family, and we all get it, is the beard. Oh, you look like a Muslim. And like,
I like the beard. That's an impressive beard. Not people can grow a beard like that.
Why do you think that tattooing has that stigma around it, both broadly but specifically? Is it different within the South Asian community?
I think it's just because tattoos are, like, related to, like, army veterans or, like, criminals. Like, prison tattoos are a big thing. In Japan, I think it's still illegal. Is it illegal in Japan? I don't know. If you've seen with tattoos, they don't like it in Japan. Okay. In Korea, I think it's illegal. It's just like, people just think criminal instantly. Criminal. But obviously, you've seen me. I don't look like a criminal. But I don't know. I think even, like, in professional career, so if you're a doctor or something, you can't have visible tattoos. In a lot of job descriptions, no visible tattoos are allowed. It just makes you look unprofessional, but it doesn't really matter, because I don't want to work in an office my entire life. I want to be a creative person, so I'm going to cover myself in tattoos.
And how do those same people respond to you now?
The same.
Okay. So even though you've had some, like, modicum of success,
I don't know.
It hasn't changed now that you're getting kind of...
So my road to being a tattoo artist was so long and difficult. I know I'm only 22, but I started trying to get into tattooing since I was 18. So that's like 3 or 4 years of, like, constant rejection, not getting anywhere, sitting at home, just drawing, being completely idle. And then all of a sudden I got a space in a studio, and I started to own my own studio, and like, I don't know, everything blew up for me in like a very small amount of time. So now family members are like, oh my god, Heleena, I'm so proud of you, like, oh, you're doing so well, I want a tattoo too, but my wife won't let me. Like, oh no, stop it, you did not support me then. If I ever told one of those relatives that I wanted to be a tattoo artist at 18, they would have been like, are you sure? Like, oh, okay. Good luck with that. Yeah, it was just fake, so fake.
But I guess this is what I found with my journey, is that the people with eyes to see and ears to listen, they respond, and they don't need to be like, you don't need to explain anything to them. They just understand. And actually, it's been a really good filter for me of, like, these are my dogs. And these people get me, and these people will always
support me and be there for me.
And that, I'm grateful for that, because it's taught me, like, now I don't think I'm, quote unquote, it's not a monolithic place, success or whatever you want to call it. But
success is whatever it is to you. It doesn't matter what other people think it is.
But now that externally people are like, oh, like, yeah, I saw this, or you did this, you know, it's kind of like,
thanks.
I remember you weren't really like checking me too tough before, so.
No, I get that as well, because we recently had like family over, and he was like, oh, let me like manage your company for you. And I was like, what? You don't like tattoos? You wouldn't ever let your daughters have any tattoos. Why are you in my studio having a look at everything? Like, oh wow, I'm so impressed. Like, I'm not here to impress you. I don't care about your opinion. Please remove yourself. But
so one of the things that I'm really interested in about is like, what do you think has helped you to have that outspoken nature and that?
Oh, I never say it. I don't ever, don't ever say it. That is not nice to say. It's very disrespectful if you have an opinion against your parents or like against the older generation. If you say something that doesn't, like, what's the word?
Conform.
Yeah, to whatever they think. That's it. Disrespect, dishonor. Like,
and that was a common question that I got in researching today. It was like, how do I deal with? I did a talk last week at UCL, and it was a great question. Somebody asked at the end saying, like, how do you deal with, you know, our generation is very different to the older generation.
Definitely.
Politically, socially, there's all kinds of different things, and we can intellectually understand it, but how do you, one, bridge that gap, but also like challenge the shitty things, but also, you know, try and establish relationships. So how do you navigate those things? I know you've just said that sometimes about being quiet.
I don't know. I feel like it's really two-faced, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm really polite to my relatives, but sometimes if they push the line, I will outwardly say, you've crossed the line, like, that's not okay. But they'll just like take the piss anyway and be like, oh, Heleena, you're so soft, like, I'm only joking, I support you. But it's just, sorry, I don't know where that accent comes from, but but I think I'm more honest with my parents than any other sort of relative. So if something happens and a relative has said something, I always tell my mum about it, because she understands that it's really uncomfortable for me because nobody else understands. And my mum will always be supportive and be like, they don't understand, but you need
Shout out to your mum.
Yeah, mama. They don't understand, but it's okay that they don't understand, because you're still doing what you're doing, you're still being successful, and you're doing what you want, whereas they are like in their 40s not happy, and they obviously see it as like a threat or something to be compared to. So jealousy is not a nice word, but it kind of feels like jealousy. Like,
I agree, and I think I was talking about this on a previous podcast episode with someone, that we make other people's human moments about us. Yeah. And that is like a sign of ego, where when you start to realize, well, actually, that's just more like, oh, is that how your worldview is? I really think of it that way, like, oh, is that what's going on? Okay. Tell me more about that, you know? Because I don't need to take on your opinion and make it my reality. I know who I am. And I think when you develop a level of clarity and conviction in who you are, those things, they don't really matter, because you've dealt with like the internal voices, and once you conquer those, it's like, well, yeah, I do have a beard, or like my moustache curls, isn't it? And
I feel like our generation is so much stronger than the generation before, because we have so much access to other people's life experiences and their opinions, and like anything else, that we can take that on and learn from other people as well. So my strength in doing whatever I want and knowing that that's what I want and I'm going to do it is just by seeing other people be that way, or just seeing them hello, seeing them kind of progress in any kind of way that they want to and be successful in their own sort of, well, in my kind of view as well. Like, I can see someone just like make an item of clothing, they might think it's awful, but I'm like, oh my god, you did that with your own 2 hands, that's so cool, I want to do something like that, let's do it.
Yeah, man. Ooh, we're getting excited, man. Let's get some sleep as well. Do you find that like, is there a difference between how like men, women respond to you in generations as well?
I've not,
because I know you said most of your audience is South Asian.
Yeah, they're South Asian females. So I grew up in a predominantly female household anyway. I don't really have any like male figures around. I have my dad, but I don't have any like older brothers, cousins or anything. Well, I have a cousin, but so I don't see both sides of it. I only see what happened to me and my sisters like growing up. I don't see what life was like to be a South Asian male, so I can't necessarily comment on that. But for me, I feel like if I was a boy, I would have had it so much easier. And I think my mum always, I can't blame my mum for the like mentality that she has, because that's all that she knows. But like things like being able to cook, being able to do this, being able to do that, what's your mother-in-law gonna think? What if like nobody wants to marry you? I'm like, Mama, you've met my boyfriend, my boyfriend's family likes me, it's cool, like you don't have to worry, it's fine. And even if he didn't, like I would never be with someone that didn't like want me for me, so you don't have to worry. But obviously that's not something that she would have to experience, or that she could even think about experiencing, because it's, for them, it was like your parents pick, or like you don't really have a say in that, or you're going to be forever alone, and that's terrifying for her. But for me, it's like, I'm happy on my own if nobody wants me. It's cool. Like, I like my own company. Yeah, I got a nice bunny. He's cool too.
I love that, because I think it also speaks to trying to see it from a more compassionate point of view, rather than like a point of view of division. Because at the end of the day, we have to realize that what they may be saying is wrong, but it doesn't mean they are wrong, it's just the behaviour is wrong. And that's a really important distinction to make, and I see this a lot when you're trying to talk about any issue, whether it's racism, sexism, whatever, it's like people get too caught up in attacking the individual rather than the behaviour. Like, your behaviour is wrong, but not you are wrong. Like, there's a difference between shaming someone and guilt, which is about behaviour. Because like the older generation, my grandma, my ba, she was born in 1934. Gosh. So the conditioning she's been through, the experiences she's been through, the fears, doubts, psychology that she has, it makes sense that based on all those things, if I try and wash the dishes, she's going to try and stop me. I'm still going to do it anyway.
No way, is that a thing?
Yeah, she'll stop me, like, no, don't touch them, like, don't do that.
Oh, wow.
But it's just realising, like, well, what has happened
that
has led her to believe that is a thing?
I think it's internalized sugar. What's the word? Misogyny. Yeah, they internalize their misogyny because that's all they know. They're just taught to like hate women. Like you hear women hating on women, and it's awful. Like, oh my god, she had a baby girl. You were a baby girl. Like, would you ever want someone talking to you like that, or talking about you like that when you were a child? No, but that's all they know. And condition is a really good word, because it's not things that they've like gone out and learnt themselves. It's things that have happened to them. And I spoke about this when we did the panel discussion. Like, they didn't have access to stuff like this. They didn't have access to other people's experiences in life to be able to think, hey, I could do this differently. I guess some people did, and some people had some sort of like click or like strength to think, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to conform to whatever shape you want me to conform to. But majority of them didn't, so we can't always be like, well,
and our feet stand on their shoulders in some way, shape or form.
We get conditioned by them as well. Like, I know growing up I said some stupid stuff about things, blah, blah. Like, I wasn't always educated on people's life experiences, and I'm not going to say now that I still am, but it's things that you learn from like everywhere else instead of things that you learn from home, like political opinions as well. My parents' political opinions are so like far away from mine.
I don't bother. That's my
whenever it comes to vote, I'm like, look, come on, let's go vote, and we'll just go to like separate sides of the room and just vote for separate people, separate parties. Yeah, yes, yeah. But I don't know. I think they're just conditioned. They absorb like other people's opinions and other people's like perceptions on things rather than attempting to learn their own, which really shows, which really shows.
And I think this is where like also, you know, when I look at some of the South Asian media outlets, the news channels, TV, it's a lot about drama. It's very there's a lot of hyperbole. It's very sensational. It's very extreme. It's very loud. And if that's all you know and all you see, and you're a 75-year-old woman living on your own, and that's your source of information, what do you expect? So I think actually, just to come back to the original question, so far we've talked about knowing when to challenge and when not to, coming from a place of compassion and realizing what we have that others don't, and those are like some key ways to break those taboos. I want to come back to your journey, because one of the things, if you're not, if people are not following you already, where can they find you on Instagram?
It's just Heleena Tattoos. Heleena is Heleena Tattoos on Instagram, and that's it. Literally just Instagram.
And you've been doing some amazing stories.
Thank you. I'm slacking with the stories recently.
I want to see more videos.
I know, I need to.
So maybe we'll do one today.
Oh, cute,
yeah, one of the things that you've spoken about a lot recently has been cultural appropriation in the tattoo industry, and also like mental health. So let's tackle one of those today.
Okay, let's go with
both if we can, but
let's go with the mental health thing, because I think that's something that a lot of people can relate to.
So I have a question.
Cool.
Do all great artists need to have some kind of like emotional?
Is it like the?
You know, like, do you need to be the tortured artist?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking starving artist, but like, I don't know. I don't think we do, but I get where it comes from, because it is quite depressing. But literally nothing would exist without art, is the way that I look at it. Like your bottle that you're drinking from, that would not exist without an artist behind it. Like literally anything needs art, and it's still so shamed upon and like frowned upon, and it makes no sense because we rely on aesthetics. Especially in our generation, like everything has to look cool. And I think for me, most of my depression has come from my failures and me feeling like I'm not doing okay, I'm not doing well, I'm not doing the best that I can do. And it's just being burnt out from just trying and not getting where I want to be. And I just put so much pressure on myself to get to certain places in my life. So I don't know if anybody follows tattoo artists on Instagram, but they always post the most incredible work. They'll be in the industry for like 10-20 years, and they won't post anything that they started off doing, like all the first tattoos that they ever did, all the first drawings, what they used to draw. Like, yeah, they just post all the successes, and it makes no sense to me, because I want to see the progression. I want to see what you started off as, so it makes me feel like I'm not failing straight away. So like, I compare myself a lot, which is so unhealthy, but I think it's something that everyone does anyway. But it just...
What things have been helping you to do that less?
Ooh, I think it's more like moments of self-realization, I think. Just like appreciating what's in the now. My friend always gives me this like metaphors, like it's okay to climb the stairs, but just make sure you stop and enjoy the view from wherever you're at. And I was like, that's really good, because I'm in a really good place right now, but like tomorrow I could just decide, no, I'm not happy anymore. Like, something is not right.
So like, you know, it's something everyone experiences when that day does come.
Yeah.
I like a metaphor. I like to look at it as like your mental well-being, or your thoughts are like your mind is at the sky, and sometimes it's going to be clouds and it's thick and heavy, and sometimes the sunshine. So when that day does come tomorrow, what are some of your go-to habits or things that you like to do?
Take a break, honey. Like, sleep. Just do not do any work. Something that I find myself doing is, if I'm bored, I will do work. It's so unhealthy. Like, I need to stimulate myself by not doing any, like by doing something else, like do a jigsaw puzzle, I don't know, like watch a movie or something, like do some gardening, I don't know, like do something that isn't job related, because it's so easy to like pick up your phone, go on Instagram. Like my work just like is on every platform, my emails, Instagram, I don't know, clients, this, that and the other, drawings turned into work as well. So like if I ever get a moment where I'm like, I need to calm the F down, I'm just gonna sleep, watch films, pig out and just relax, so the next day I know, hey, I've had my break now, so it's okay for me to go back and do everything else, because the worst thing for me is constantly feeling guilty about taking a break. So I'm trying to condition myself, like once a week you need a day off. You need to have a day off. I know once a week isn't a lot, but for me, I feel like I can't do more.
I'll be honest. If I didn't have certain people in my life, I would work all the time.
Yeah, exactly. It is really unhealthy, because you know those movies where like the dad's like a workaholic and he never sees the kids, and then all of a sudden love is here all along. You know, so I don't want to be that person when I'm older, and I'm turning into that person now, and I'm only 22.
And I think especially when you do creative work, you need your own stimulation, and like the best creative work comes from a place of ease, not from a place of urgency. So I find if I'm trying to make a video and there's too much pressure and like the creativity gets blocked, whereas if it's, you know, I'm surfing for 2 hours and I'm getting battered by waves, I have crazy ideas like, I should do this or this, and it just comes out.
Exactly, because you're excited to go back to it. You're like, oh look, I've not done any work, let's go back to it. It's so exciting, refreshed, I feel great. Meditate, I don't know, something that isn't.
I saw a quote on Instagram just yesterday. The last piece of a tree to grow is the fruit. So if you're not where you want to be, if it hasn't happened for you yet, or you're just feeling frustrated, just remember that, you know, everything has its time. And I like going back to nature, because we don't always need to go to like a book or a guru or a podcast or a YouTube video or whatever. Like, just go for a walk in the woods and look around you in nature and be present, and you'll see that like the strongest trees have the deepest roots.
You're so full of wisdom.
Simple stuff like that anyone can observe. Even the fact that if you think about the way a tree grows, the roots, it's not like they have a map saying, okay, you got to go left and then turn right and the nutrients here. It just senses things and goes based on that intuition and that blueprint that's in its DNA. So why do you think that you don't have that within you already? Right? Like, I can't tell you, this is where you should be in 5 years. Like, it's got to come from inside and then out.
I think it's just from like seeing what other people are doing, and seeing like watching movies and stuff is really unhealthy as well. Like, because you see like the struggle of like a character in a movie, and then like it skips 2 years later, and then it's like they're like a success. It's just there's no like, I don't know. There's no proof of any sort of like struggle or growth. I don't process.
You always get to see the boring days as well. I sat today for 3 hours answering emails, because I have like my biggest problem right now is I have like hundreds of messages that I need to reply to.
You're terrible. I'm on point with that. Get it done.
So but I think no one's gonna ever see that side of it. Where the behind the scenes is like, so today I was eating cheesy puffs in my pajamas, and then I went for a walk, I had a poo, and I had some emails, and that was my day.
See, this is like what I want to post on.
Times.
This is what I want to post on Instagram though, because like sometimes I'll have those. I don't know if you've seen those stories where I just sit in the corner of my sofa and like eat breadsticks or something, and then I'll have like little quotes around my head, like all the things that I've like got going on in my mind, but I'm just sitting in the corner eating, like, which is very very relevant to I think a lot of people, where they just like sit like idle doing nothing, but their mind's just buzzing with so much shit that they need to do, and that's really unhealthy as well. Like, clear your mind, like be calm and carry on.
It's got to be clear for you to see through it.
Yep.
So
I get it. That makes sense.
Still mind, man. There's a really good philosopher that I like called Jiddu Krishnamurti.
Okay.
You should check out. And he's got a book called In Total Silence, The Mind Encounters the Internal.
Wow.
And I just like the quote there, like, when you're totally silent and totally still, you encounter the truth. And yet, like yesterday, my cousin, shout out to Nand, he spent the whole day didn't speak, sat in one position, didn't eat or drink any water. Just being still for a day, like he didn't need to buy a course, he didn't need to like do anything. It was literally sit in a corner and just be with your thoughts for a bit. Just watch.
Exist.
Yeah, and I think that's why so many people are turning to meditation, mindfulness, yoga, all these things. But then on the flip side, and this is a good segue into that conversation, is being appropriate. So you talk a lot about like appropriation.
Yeah. I'm a bit of a like appropriation police. I don't want to call myself that because I don't want people like message. I get a lot of messages daily like, is this appropriation if I do this? Like, I don't know because I can't speak for you. Yes, I can't speak for you. But like my issue was that like a lot of South Asian artwork was on trend in the tattooing industry. Like everyone was getting like mandala. Well, mandalas aren't really like Indian, but
what's a mandala for someone
so
who doesn't
like
know?
it's just a geometric pattern, and it just like, I think it's more of a Buddhist thing actually. Don't really know the whole history about it, but they're just really beautiful like circles. Are you googling it?
Yeah.
You'll see loads. They'll probably come up with tattoos. Yeah, that's a mandala. So it kind of looks like, you know, Rangoli, and it's always like geometric circles. Yeah, so things like deity portraits and like Mendi and stuff like that. That was just so trendy in the tattooing industry, and I was like, yeah, that's cool and all, but why are you all white? Like, why are you all done by white tattoo artists that don't know anything about it? Like, that makes no sense to me.
So for the person who's like, what's wrong with that?
Like,
why can't I get a cool tattoo? What's wrong?
Because there hasn't been any room for any South Asian tattoo artists in the industry. Like, I'm living proof of that because there's only like 5 that I can count, like in the UK. And if you've ever been to the UK, you know that there's brown people everywhere and there's a lot of brown creativity. And South Asians are known for being creative and colourful and this, that, and the other stereotype. Yeah, exactly. So like patterns and everything, that's just part of our daily life. So why is it that there aren't any spaces in tattoo industries for people of color or females or female people of color or like people in the LGBTQ plus community? Why is there no space for us? But you can appropriate things from our culture.
Yeah, like you want to take the best bits, make money off it, but you don't want to contribute
like,
to the process, to the struggle, to all those things, having space.
See, that's the thing. It's always pretty. Oh, I love the culture. Babes, what do you love about it? You've had one curry in your life. Have you ever spoken to a person of colour?
It wasn't even a curry.
It wasn't.
It was a pot noodle.
It was a pot noodle. Bombay bad boy pot noodle. Like, I walked into this studio. I'm not going to mention the name, but I got interrogated for being Indian. They were like, "Oh, are you Indian?" I was like, "Yeah," and they were like, and then I was, yeah, and they were like, "Oh, where in India are you from?" I was like, "Oh, I'm not from India. Like, I was born here." And they were like, "Yeah, but like, where are you from?" And I was like, "Well, my parents are born in Gujarat in India." And they're like, "Yeah, but where is that?" And I was like, "It's a state in India. What do you want from me?" And they were like, "Oh, you don't even know where you're from. You're Indian." I was like,
code, but what box do I
exactly, like tick the other box. But like, I don't know, and it's a studio that has like white artists and predominantly white artists. Actually, I don't think there were any people of color, but I was getting tattooed by someone that did South Asian artwork, and it made me feel so uncomfortable that was the like atmosphere in the room, that me being a person of color, yet you can produce South Asian artwork, but if you come across someone South Asian, you don't know how to speak to them. I'm a fucking person. Like, I'm not some robot or like, I don't know, an alien or something.
I think here's the thing, like, they're probably good people with like, good intentions, but and I think this is why people get very, very defensive when you call this stuff out.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh no, I'm not racist.
Yeah. I have a brown friend.
Yeah, I have a brown friend. I get that. You're
my
cool,
best friend's cousin is black.
But the point is, it doesn't mean you don't have biases.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about. I have biases.
Yeah.
You have biases. It's just, and that's part of, and this is why I get frustrated with the coaching, personal development, self-help industries, because we are encouraging introspection, but we don't encourage that kind of introspection.
Yeah.
Like, you'll never see a coach talk about that in a motivational video.
Yeah.
But it's also important because if you really are about freeing people and empowering someone, that means getting rid of all the muck, and that means having difficult conversations where, let's keep it real between me and you say to me, like, you know, like the way you spoke about this or the way you behaved in this situation, that's male privilege.
Yeah.
And I know you don't like that, but check yourself.
Yeah.
That's
you need to have those you need to have those conversations. You need to call people out when they're being ignorant or like they're being bigots in any sort of way, because not that they mean to do it, but you need to, not that it's your job to educate people either, but you need to be able to like put a stand to it. And obviously it's not always a safe space to do that. Like, I was about to get a tattoo. I'm not about to like piss off the person that's gonna like stick needles in me. Like, it wasn't
Which
the space.
Was
it was this one, which is a South Asian woman. So it was like, babes, what are you doing? No shame on the artist though, because I feel I don't know how to like place it, but I don't always get it right either. So calling myself a cultural appropriation police isn't correct, but I know what bothers me and I know what makes me feel uncomfortable, and I know that if something makes me feel uncomfortable, it is valid. Like it's making me
for like people like that, people in the industry, and also I think it's applicable to other industries. What do you think like are the steps to go from where we are now to where we would like to be? What is the ideal? What should it be?
Listen to people of color when they tell you that something is not okay. Like if you're a white person and you think something's pretty from another culture, but there's been evidence or people tell you like, I don't think that's a good idea, people are going to find it offensive, don't go there. Just listen to them. Like, there is no need to appreciate things from afar. You don't need to adopt things for yourself. You can just, like, I think, I don't know, what's pretty? Like, African headdresses, beautiful. Would I ever wear one? No. Dreads, amazing. Would I ever get them? No. Like, well, even the Shiva had dreads, but, like, I'm not about to start a whole riot about it.
I think this is like, I went to Kwanzaa with Lewis, one of my co-directors at Revolution Hive. Mm-hmm. I was wearing a dashiki, but it's like, he bought that for me. I'm going to your cultural celebration.
Exactly.
But I don't wear it like...
Literally, if you went to an Indian, like a South Asian wedding, and one of your South Asian friends was like, hey, wear a sari. Cool. Because like we had like a white lady staying with us, and we're like, oh my God, Charlotte, put this sari on. You look so cute in it. Come to the wedding like this. Because she's like part of the family. Like, we're telling her it's okay. But if somebody's telling you it's not okay, don't do it. Don't adopt it for yourself.
I think the key thing is like, are you doing it from within a part of that inclusive culture? Yeah. Or are you doing it from outside? Yeah. And you're kind of like, let me take the best bit from your shop. Yeah. And then like, I'm good. And like, here's an Instagram.
Here, let me look pretty
and we see it everywhere. And I think another big thing I would add in there is education is so key. And this is why with Revolution Hive, we have like workshops on alternative world history, on race, on female empowerment and girls' confidence and toxic masculinity, all these things, because like at a certain point, if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah,
like, if I don't know who Jay Ben Desai is, I don't know. But once I start to learn, well, I live in a system that has benefited from colonial empire for years, and we're literally rich because of like basically stealing things from these countries. So if I move from one part of your empire to another part of your empire, I'm still a citizen. So like, what's your problem? But knowing like what's the story and owning that story, and that's what I love about this little, like, I don't know what to call it, woke South Asian cool people community. As much as I hate that word, I don't know what else to label it. But
educated,
like educated, balanced, all those good things. That there's like a spirit and like a thing growing, and it's quite cool to see how different people are creating things and responding to each other and growing, like,
and supporting each other.
Like even that book, The Good Immigrant. Keshav Bhatt, definitely check it out. It's a series of 21 essays by people of color on like what the immigrant experience is like and being sort of like belonging. Yeah, really, really good book.
It's really cool.
If you've heard of Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race, Rennie Edo-Lodge.
I need to read that. Yeah, I don't read. I'm gonna audiobook that.
No, you got to change that statement. Right? There's so many good books I want to recommend to you.
I don't process things by reading. Okay. It's really bad.
But it's a good. I think I'm glad you said that, because often we, like I just kind of said, we think reading is the only way to self-educate, but there's so many good documentaries.
No, there is loads of other ways.
Like, I watched what's it called? Sex Education.
Oh, okay. I've not watched that yet.
Pretty interesting. There's another one called Little Things, which is about.
God, you watch everything. How do you have time? Read, watch everything.
My thing is like I'll do any of those things. I'm not against like TV or reading or as long as like there's a utility there's like something I'm gonna learn or grow. Yeah. So. Right now, I'm watching an anime called My Hero Academia. Shout out to all my anime fans. But like the story of that character, the way that it's shown, the art, the visuals, the music, it's all inspiring me, and the story as well. Like a lot of animes that I watch, they always have like a deep message to them.
Yeah, they always do, don't they?
So that's what I mean. Like you don't have to just grow in one. It doesn't have to be you read Think and Grow Rich or 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, or you watch a Jay Shetty video and like, yeah, you're cool, and you can do other things as well.
Yeah, definitely. Just even having conversations with people, like having open and honest conversations with people. Like not that everybody has the confidence to do that, because I know I get really awkward if I like have to speak to people, but like if you kind of put yourself in a space or like with like-minded people, it's always nice to kind of like bounce off what other people have experienced as well.
So you
like
brought me nicely onto my next little segment or question. How important is community in your development?
I love my community so much. I feel like I wouldn't be anywhere if I didn't have my little Instagram community, or like the little brown people that like big me up. Like I honestly think that if I wasn't South Asian, I wouldn't be half as like successful or where I am today if I wasn't born into this family. Because I don't know if it applied to you, but I hated being South Asian as a kid. I wanted to reject that stuff so hard.
I got beaten up. I almost
did
went
you?
blind. So
no way.
First day of school, a kid came up to me, punched me in the stomach, was like, fuck off, you packy. And then a couple of weeks later, we had football training, and my little brother he had his, and I was waiting, and I noticed some kids were throwing stones at him. So I went round the corner, and as I went round, I looked, and the stone hit me in my eye.
Oh my
just
God.
Underneath my eyelid. And the doctor said if you're lucky, if it was any higher,
you could have gone blind.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I've had like chips thrown at me.
Shit.
Randomly.
Oh my God.
I just turned around and ate the chip. I was like, it's safe, bro. Like,
oh my God, that's terrifying.
But yeah, going back to community.
Yeah, like I don't know, just growing up, hated being South Asian, but like right now, I feel like I'm so blessed to be part of the community that I am part of right now. Being South Asian is such a blessing, right? Like in this generation, especially because we can appreciate it and we can like all.
It's more cool as well.
It is cool. It's so cool to be brown. Like I feel like all the white kids want to be brown now. Yeah. They do. Yeah. Because I remember talking to one girl and she was just like, oh my God, you get to wear such amazing jewelry and you get to like, I did a hair flip, but you missed it. you could like dress up and you have all this like history and culture, and like I was just like, yeah, I guess so. Like, what do you have? And they were like, oh, I don't know. It's like nothing really. We eat fish and chips. Yeah, like I think there's so much to us, and there's so many different ways to exist as South Asians. Like it's not one universal experience. Yeah, it's just there's so many different ways,
so many
but
languages,
yeah,
so many
exactly.
Cuisines, so many like styles.
Yeah, but I think the majority of it is in like behaviour and like taboos and stuff. It's all quite like similar, so that's something that we all kind of come together and fight against. Like warriors and shit.
Like, what other things like that have helped you with your community in terms of like one, tackling the taboo in the industry or in your household or in brown people culture, and also with mental health stuff? Like how important has community been in those regards?
It's been like so necessary. I don't think I'd ever have like the strength to deal with like my mental health issues or any sort of issues that I have with my family if I didn't read or learn about the perspectives or like other people's stories or like how other people dealt with things. Like seeing other people have so much strength has given me the strength to do what I've like done. I've spoken like my clients or like people I've found on Instagram or reading other people's stories on like articles or I don't know, features anywhere. So like I get clients from like all walks of life, and people have been like kicked out of their home for having tattoos, having different opinions, changing religions. I don't know, there's just so many things, and it's kind of like, wow, I'm really lucky. But like if they can do that, I can do this. Like I can deal with this. Like that we're just as strong as each other, but in just different ways.
So in a way, like the role of like especially the way you're doing things. Is it St. Francis?
It's just Francis.
Francis Street Tattoo, or is it Francis Tattoo?
It's Francis Street Tattoo.
Francis Street Tattoo.
Yes.
Go check out. But especially the way you're doing things, like the tattoo artist isn't just a tattoo artist, like someone who's
a therapist.
It's like a therapist, community healer, activist, all those things roll into one.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you find that it's quite a, we were talking about before, cathartic experience getting a tattoo.
I think so.
I say this as someone who has no tattoos yet as well. So.
Are you going to get any?
Obviously, I'm coming to your house. Like, legit.
Appreciate it. Oh wait, I forgot what cathartic meant.
So it's when like it's like a release.
Yeah. So
therapeutic.
I feel like when most people come to me for tattoos, they're usually South Asian, and they usually come from a place where they've rejected their culture for like the majority of their life. Same as me. And then they come, and because I do predominantly South Asian artwork, it's kind of a way to like reconnect to that side of their life. As well as that, you get to speak to a South Asian person about all things South Asian, because I know my South Asian stuff. So like, I don't know, it's just like sharing life experiences, sharing, talking about Bollywood movies, or talking about like that weird actress over there that like, I don't know, just gossiping, or just releasing steam with somebody that you can't always have these sort of conversations with. You need to be from the same sort of community to be able to like share that sort of space and share those kind of opinions with each other. And I guess that is in itself a relief, or just healing in some way as well, because I feel like a lot of people think of tattooing as like self-harm, but like a safe way to self-harm, so it's kind of like a therapy thing. Like I said before, it releases endorphins, so you can go and get your tattoos.
I gotta ask the question, like, all the non-tattooed people that's wondering, like, does it really hurt?
Yeah, it does. I'm not gonna lie, they do hurt.
And are some areas more painful than
yes, without a doubt. My most painful was...
Is it different for everyone?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people have very different pain thresholds. Like, I've tattooed people and it's hurt me tattooing them, and they're just sitting there fine. I'm like, are you okay? They're like, yeah.
Like, because they look like they're in pain?
No, but they just seem fine. But like, because I know I felt what they've feeling, like it hurts me. So like, this particular, like the ditch in my arm was so painful. I wanted to cry. Yeah, this bit. And I've tattooed that place on somebody, and they've just been so fine with it. And I was like, are you okay? Yeah, I'm expecting them to feel it the way that I felt it. But no, they're fine. But yeah, everybody's got like different pain thresholds. Mine's incredibly low. Like, you could pinch me and I'd probably bruise and cry. Don't do it.
But on the flip side, you're a great hugger. So
I
always
thank
find
you.
like someone who's like, you know,
is
like a good hugger.
Yeah,
I'm like a hugger
have a
too,
good
so,
squeeze. I hate when people like one arm you, like fuck off.
Or you're like a floppy fish. You know?
Yeah, they're so awkward. Like, oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Roll away.
I always want to hug my clients after I've given them tattoos, and sometimes I kind of like try and gauge like,
are they down?
Yeah. Is it weird if I hug you? Like, do you know me like that yet? Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Okay, bye. I'm just gonna like sit in the corner and wave. High five, fist bump, hug.
I guess because like it's for some people it's like a transactional thing.
Yeah.
Whereas from the place you're coming from, it's quite a...
It's intimate. It's intimidating, intimate thing. Like, I got tattooed by this guy that had his tattoo machine blessed by monks. So if he was ever tattooing with like bad energy or in a bad mood, that would stop in the machine and it wouldn't transfer into the person's skin. And I believe in that so hard. Like, if you are in a bad place and you try and tattoo someone, or if you try and do anything for someone and you're in a bad place, you can transfer that shit over to somebody else, and it's not fair. I don't know. There's no way of telling, to be fair, is there? But try not to. Do you
ever feel pressure? Because it's like...
No, I don't.
What if you fuck up?
No, my tattoo... Like, me doing the tattoo is, like, the most relaxing part of it. Like, that is, like... That's the best part of my day. Is sitting down and doing a tattoo is, like... It's amazing. Doing everything beforehand, like the emailing and drawing and make sure they like it. What if they don't like it? Oh my god, they don't like it. Let's change this. Let's change that. That is the worst part of the job, because it's just so much like self-doubt and like back and forth thing and trying to suss out what kind of person that is. And sometimes when I fall out with my clients a lot, it's really bad. But if you don't respect me, like it's not gonna happen.
You mean on a general basis, like
like I think a lot, like you said, people kind of think it's like a service, whereas like, I work for you, babes. No, we work together for this. This is give and take. This isn't give and take even. This is like give and take on both sides, I guess.
Well, one of the things I say to people when we start doing some coaching is like, the number one mistake that people make is expecting the coach to fix them.
Yeah,
and actually,
I can imagine.
this is a 200% relationship.
Yeah.
So I'm all in.
Yeah.
But you have to be all in too. So I'm taking notes on the court.
Yeah.
But you have to do the same
Yeah.
thing. Like, you can't just come up to the session like, oh, so like, what am I doing today to fix myself? Well, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
You know, you're driving the car.
Yeah.
I'm only helping you by guiding you and giving you tools and exercises. So I can see why. And I think that's a really important thing for anyone who's doing anything like business or entrepreneurship related, or like running their own thing, is you don't have to work with everyone. You can choose who you work with and be really clear about these are my terms, so
boundaries.
This is what I look for.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to do it, calm, innit?
Yeah.
Like, somebody else will pay me.
Yeah, it's cool.
And it's funny because I've experienced the same thing where someone thinks, well, yeah, I'll pay you in it, how much? And then I'll quote my price and it's like, oh, can I get a discount? Or can...
That's so bad.
Well, no, because there's 100 other people I could work with.
Yeah, and they'll actually give me what I'm asking for.
And they're amazing to work with.
Yeah.
And I would, and it's not a thing of like, I think I'm better, but it's just, I think at a certain point you realise my energy, and I'm learning this a lot. I was thinking about this morning, like, my energy is limited. Yeah. And I want to give so much, but I only want to give it to the person that I actually just love. And I really want to, like, they're down and it's easy and it's effortless. And you wouldn't get into a relationship or a friendship with someone who is difficult and it's hard, like, because it just zaps your energy, and I only want to be around people who fan my flames.
Yeah, exactly. So
same with clients.
If I get like a bad energy or something from a client and they're just so rude and demeaning or anything like that, I'm just going to cancel their appointment, give them their money back. I don't care. I don't want it. Don't want any of your business. And before, I would just take on those clients. If you're rude to me, horrible, whatever, I would still take that person on, do their tattoo for me, and I'd be in such a bad place mentally. And it's so hard. Like, I don't care if they've got a good tattoo out of it. Like, I feel like shit, and it's not worth it. It's so selfish. It's so unbelievably selfish to put someone else through that. It's so unfair. And nobody ever understands that. It's kind of like, oh, I'm going to go get a tattoo. Here, they're going to do it for me. Yeah. Like, the worst one that I've ever had is I spent 4 hours tattooing someone. At that time, I think it was like £50 per hour. They dropped me, I think, like 50 to 100 quid for the 4 hours that I did and left. And I was like, I just spent 4 hours with you, like, you were there, like, you know that I just tattooed you for 4 solid hours. The entire time they were so difficult, and they just kept getting up every time I, like, dipped for ink or I turned my back or something, and they just completely, like, obliterated my dream to be a tattoo artist. I was like, this is my last ever tattoo, I'm never doing it again.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was when I first opened my shop as well. I was like, I'm never doing this again. He's fully just like ruined it for me. I think I had a client the next day. I wasn't looking forward to it, but they were the most lovely person ever, and
Shout
I was just like don't even remember who they were, but I was just like, you know what, I'm good at this. This is what makes it worth it. Like, somebody looking at their tattoo and thinking, oh my god, this is incredible. Like,
it's quite exciting. Like, who's going to show up in the chair today?
Yeah,
no
like,
idea, right?
So I'm above a barber, so you just walk up the stairs and we kind of just like look to see who's coming up the stairs, and you never expect who it is, and then you see them and you're like, oh my god, I get it. That's so exciting. Hello. Like, what's happening? We're going to spend 3 hours together today. I hope you're ready.
So how many people do you see in a typical day?
I try and limit to myself. I limit myself to 2. I used to do like 4 or 5 in a day, which is way too much. But 2 a day is like my happy place.
At the beginning, I used to try and do like 5 or 6 calls a day.
Oh my god!
Like, some of them would last hours, and it's very emotionally draining. Like, you have to give so much energy. You gotta be present. You gotta be. Yeah. I just be there like, quick lunch, bam, next one. And
you have a lunch break? You're so funny. I don't even get a lunch break.
No, I'm having lunch while I'm on the call.
Oh,
but I'm on mute, so they can't hear me eating my packet of crisps, obviously. But,
crunching away.
Chomping. But now, there's definitely a sweet spot. And I think that, again, comes back to having connection with yourself and knowing, like, what your balance is of too much and too little.
I did an interview with someone and I was like, it is a privilege for anybody to give their time to anybody else. If you don't see it as a privilege, you don't deserve their time.
Clicks, right?
Like, you should always see other people's time as a privilege.
It really is though, like, and this is why I'll be honest, I appreciate it more now when someone watches a video even for 30 seconds. Like, that's a gift, because at the same time there were 6 other videos that you could have watched. There were like 7 emails, you got WhatsApp going on, you got things going on in your environment, but you chose to actually watch. And if you commented, oh my god, like, you're my favourite person ever.
Oh my god.
Because at the end of the day, you know, like,
you gave me a shout out. Oh my god.
Big ups, man. You didn't have to do that. Sometimes there is like this entitlement in this generation, our generation, of like, you know, but I worked hard. So what? Like,
everyone works hard, babes. We are all working hard.
We forget sometimes you might work hard. You might be the right person. You might do all the right things. You might shine your shoes and put a smile on your face. And you guess what? You still might not succeed. But that's okay.
It is okay.
You're not doing it for the end result. You're doing it just to be the person who
you
does
should
the workout,
enjoy the process. Not that the process is always enjoyable, but you should at least go with the process. Don't always try and rush to the finish line.
Oh man, that's bars right there. Someone, I need that Charlie song, like sound effect.
I feel like, because I always get the line like, oh my god, you're only 22, you've done so much with your life.
I hate that.
Oh, like, babes, I know I have, but it's still a process. Like, I'm not finished. Like, I'm nowhere near finished.
Does that ever get annoying for you?
It does. Like, especially when people are like, oh my god, you're so busy, I hope I'm not to, like, I don't know, like, you don't have time for me, you're so busy. Like, yes, I know I'm busy, but that's not success. Being busy is not success. It's
being present is success.
Being present is success. I can't even speak. And like, being happy, that is like the ultimate form of success. I can't even say it. I'm not going to say it.
I think it's that thing.
Success.
It
doesn't sound like a word anymore.
So where do you see like yourself in
how many years?
Yeah, whatever years.
Oh, I don't know. I just want to...
Do you still want to go to... Because I know, like, I've seen stuff where you're like, yeah, I want to have a tattoo place in London.
Yeah,
We're talking about the vibe here.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever want to own another studio. I really like mine. The overall goal is to have a space in Leicester, so like maybe keep the current space that I have. And I really wanted to open up a studio just for like women of color or people of like minority. I don't like the word minorities, but you know, like people that aren't traditional. Yeah, exactly.
Like, in the scheme of the world.
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
More of us than you, so.
Yeah.
Anyway.
People that aren't traditionally found in the tattooing industry, to give them a space to tattoo and like feel comfortable. Because for me, I want to like travel and tattoo, but I always feel like I'm not going to be welcome, or I'm going to be made to feel uncomfortable, or there's going to be something that's going to like put me off. But I don't know, I want to live in London. I want to have a dog. I want to be really happy, and I want to be financially stable, and I don't want to feel guilty about paying myself. Like recently, I've been giving myself minimum wage so I can like keep the shop running, and everything goes to the shop. But I have my like minimum wage. Give myself minimum wage so I can like buy my clothes or whatever I want to do, and then like maybe go out for dinner like once a week or something. I don't know. Don't shoot myself.
Like, a lot of people underestimate that it's a very big inner game.
Yeah,
like, doing this stuff.
Yeah,
it's a creative business, but at the end of the day, it's a business, and there's like at every level there's hurdles that you have to cross.
Yeah.
Mentally, and it is massively like inner work, because like you just said, like, how much do I pay myself?
Yeah.
What am I worth?
Who the hell, like,
Who
how
decides?
do you,
You have to
like,
decide.
do you have
No
like a
one's gonna-
calculator on like Google or something? Like, how much to pay yourself? This is my like monthly takings.
Yeah.
Like, what can I give myself out of this?
And the other thing, when you're passionate about something that you've created, you're gonna make sacrifices.
Yeah.
Like, if there's a month where cash flow, like, there's more expenses, alright, cool, take 100 out of my salary.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're in a job, you would never accept.
Yeah, exactly. It's
You
because
would
it's your
never
baby. You're like, I want you to succeed. It's okay if I can't eat. Starving artist. This is where it comes from.
Yeah.
I was literally paying myself £400 a month, and I was living off that for like God knows how long. And then I was like, you know what?
No, this has
Like,
to change.
babes, I can't afford this life. Like, I'm like dying here, and I work so hard. I deserve to be paid and deserve to, like, I don't know, come to London and like let loose a bit, and I couldn't do that. So minimum wage, at least I'm getting there. It's exciting.
I think the other thing is, like, sometimes it's knowing, like, all right, the ideal is like, let's say 2.5k a month,
Yeah,
but it's not possible yet.
Yeah.
So for me, I always think, all right, well, what's the next step? So
yeah, up it a
living
little
wage
bit. Yeah,
is a good like step maybe, or every other month I'll do double, or every other month I'll get a dividend. And it's like, for whatever you're doing, we always think like in a very monolithic binary way of perfect or nothing.
Yes.
And I call it the all or nothing mindset. Like I go to the gym and I do my full workout, or I do nothing. But one of the things I've learned is that you can just go and do your first work. Like just do 10 minutes. Just do 10 minutes, and it's better than nothing. Yeah. Because guess what? If you do that for a week, like let's say you want to meditate, right, for an hour, and you don't do it, but if you meditate 10 minutes every day of the week, that's 70 minutes in the whole week.
You did it.
It's not hard. Yeah. Like right now, I'm learning to play the piano, and
exciting.
Like my piano teacher's probably listening, so I gotta be very careful. I do practice, but like I get home, it's like 10, 11, I'm knackered. Yeah. And I'm like, oh man, like
I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I just want to do the My Hero Academia. But I've just been doing this thing of, all right, let me just do 10 minutes. And trust me, like even the difference between yesterday's practice and the day before, I improved because I did 10 minutes. Yeah. And I think it's such a like huge message.
And you don't feel as guilty because you did the 10 minutes. Yeah, at least I did something. If you did nothing, you'd be like, oh my god, I'm such a terrible person.
So yeah, something is better than nothing, right?
Yeah,
so,
without doubt.
100%.
Yes.
So like main takeaways from today, I think we talked about having compassion.
Yes.
For yourself and other people. We talked about calling things out when they're being appropriated, or even in terms of people you choose to work with.
Yeah, if something makes you uncomfortable, you need to speak out about it if it's a safe space to do so.
Very important caveat there, because no point wasting your breath.
Yeah.
Or, getting into dialogues that are pointless. That's why I think silence is a very good response sometimes. Yeah. Or even just, okay.
Yeah. Because you know in your heart, like, if you don't agree with something, it's fine.
And like you said, it's not your responsibility to educate the whole world. It's just your responsibility to look after you. Yeah. And you shining at your brightest, that the light will take care of itself. Yes. Like the sun doesn't worry about, I need to make sure that I hit that spot in yesterday. It doesn't do that, it just shines. Yeah. So just focus on that. And there was something you said I was going to actually say in a previous podcast. We had a woman called Anna Garcia on. She's a relationships expert and coach. And she was saying, like, people's energy introduces itself before you meet them. Like, you know someone's energy before, and I fully feel that.
Definitely.
Fully agree with that.
Yes.
So I want to say thank you so much for being on today's special episode. It was. Where can people find you?
Literally just Instagram, because I can't do social media. So it's Heleena Tattoos.
It's overwhelming.
It is. It's crazy. But
again, it's important. Like, pick one thing, right?
Yeah. So Heleena Tattoos on Instagram, and that's about it. You'll find everything on there.
And if you listen to this, like, drop her a DM, drop me a DM, and just with a special. What's the code word for today?
What is? There's a code word.
So then they know. We know when they message us. We know that they listen. Like, little secret code word.
What's the name of the podcast?
Lost in Life.
Okay, Lost in Life is the code word.
So just put Lost in Life.
Yes.
And Heleena.
Heleena.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. We'll know that you came from this episode, and so will I. And how can people who have listened to you, you've given an hour of your precious time today, which is a massive gift. I'm really grateful for that.
Thank
how
you.
Can the person listening help you?
I don't know. Just be kind to someone today. Do it. Be nice to someone.
Love it. Well, thanks for listening. This is Keshav and Heleena. And as always, guys, absorb what's useful, discard what isn't, and add what's uniquely your own. I'll see you next time. Peace.